Hey, what's up, Herd? It's Wednesday, January 8th. My name is Aaron, and this is your market update. We had some red in the markets over the last 24 to 48 hours, so let's get on into why that might be and what is going on. We had a massive candle down to the downside. We ran up to 102,000 on Bitcoin and then dropped immediately to about 96,800. And then as of this morning, got down as far as 94,599. Though the target that we discussed on the last video on Monday was about 95,000, as we did have pockets of liquidity longing the price of Bitcoin all the way down here. And this is what the target was for CEXs as well as some whales out there trying to pick up some liquidity here. Dump your Bitcoin high, guys, and watch the price drop and pick up more as it drops is the name of the game for whales, and that is what is happening. I do think a lot of this has to do with some of the labor market numbers that we're seeing, as well as tomorrow the traditional markets will be closed in the US due to a former president's memorial service. So look out for that. Just a heads up there. So we will have higher than average volatility in the crypto markets, likely due to that, and really because there will be low volume over the next 24 hours as we get into that market closing. So one thing that I want to talk about real quick is if you go over to X, I follow Benjamin Cohen for a lot of my data, guys, and he has mentioned that job openings was higher than expected. So the actual was 8 million with an estimate of 7.74 million, in the prior being at 7.8 million. So this could be a bullish sign though, guys, as it could be that we're getting more job openings because there's a higher than expected rate of people trying to employ workers, but this could also be that a lot of people left their jobs or got laid off. So I'm not worried about that too much, but it did spook the market a little bit. But I'm waiting until actual unemployment numbers come out on Friday, guys. And if we're at 4.2 or below, I do think that will be extremely bullish for the price of Bitcoin and the crypto markets. But if we see it at 4.3 or higher, it could be a chop or a sell the market event. Looking at liquidity on chain, guys, we do have massive liquidity down here at about $90,000. So this could be a magnet for a price. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a wick down to about 90,000, maybe even lower, maybe even down to $89,000, especially if we see a cascade of liquidations like we did back here on December 5th. But then I do think we will start heading up and to the right again, as I do think we're starting to see some short liquidity build up above the current price. And with bullishness on the frontier with Trudeau, especially from Canada, leaving, and a crypto bullish prime minister likely coming in to replace him, that is absolutely great for that market. But also with Trump coming in, guys, the inauguration on the 20th should be big news for the crypto markets. So I wouldn't be surprised to see another dump down, guys, like I said already, to about 90,000, maybe even down to 89,000, which would be this line of support here. So I'm going to pull that out underneath the price here, but we do have a lot of trading above this, so it will likely be a support line for us going up, and then we'll likely either make another lower high or head into higher high territory for the price of Bitcoin. Whale money flow is coming out of this, so I do expect that to continue down to the downside, but I will update you on Friday if that starts to turn around. Ethereum dropped as well the other day. We are currently down about 10% from about 48 hours ago, guys, which is a pretty significant drop in that amount of time. But we have seen this sort of drop relatively recently from the December highs from about 4,000 down to 3,350. So I wouldn't be surprised to see another possible 7% down to the downside to come back and candlestick the wick that we made on Friday, December 20th. Whale money flow also rounding over on Ethereum, guys, so I do expect that to continue to the downside, though we are sitting on a nice line of support that we created back in late November, revisited in late December, and are sitting on currently. We could see a bounce from here, but I do expect to see prices to the downside, especially if Bitcoin falls again. BNB holding up extremely well in this case. Not surprising though, as it is the token for the Binance Smart Chain. Binance makes a lot of money during liquidation events, guys, so it is possible that they're raking in the fees, and that's doing wonders for the price of their token. We do have a market trend, guys, that we're sitting on top of right now, this upward ascending trend line that has been support for us in the past. Wouldn't be surprised to wick below it shortly, but then bounce up. Though we could be coming back to about $660 for the price of BNB if we continue lower, which it does look like could happen, especially with whale money flow curling over on this coin as well. As whale money flow rolls over, we could come down back below $180, which would be amazing to pick up some Solana sub 180 again. SWI, on the other hand, doing fairly well today. We have seen all-time highs at about 534, currently sitting at 460. So if you bought the top of this, guys, continue to hodl. I do think we're going to continue to the upside. We're bouncing off the upward ascending trend line that we have been creating for several months now. In fact, the lows back in August have continued to be a support line for us, which has lined up super well with the 50-day moving average, which I wouldn't be surprised to come back to if we do see more downside for the price of Bitcoin and the rest of the altcoins. Whale money flow is coming out, but it isn't coming out as drastically as it has been on other tokens. And on this chart, guys, we've had this nice ascending line of support for whale money flow for the SWI market, and I do expect us to either hit this or bounce off of it very strongly, especially if we get some good labor market data on Friday. As I said on Monday, guys, BTC dominance did take a nice bounce all the way up to 58% and then some, but this could be a breakout and retest of about 57.95 and could go to the high side if we do continue down for Bitcoin. In fact, looking at Bitcoin now, we are starting to get a breakdown below 95, so this could be happening relatively shortly here. Of course, Bitcoin dominance really is dependent on the rest of the market, guys. So if we see ETH and other alts start to get higher than 2% as Bitcoin is down 2%, then we'll see a capitulation for the entire market. But if Bitcoin goes down and alts start to either freeze or go up, we will see this turn around drastically, which would be great to see as alts would be able to run in that market. Getting into the elephant money ecosystem, we saw a nice bounce off of 13 cents the other day, getting all the way back up to 13.78. However, we've rolled over since then. I do think whale money flow coming into this is looking fairly strong, so we could see continued upside for the price of Trunk. And I do think the upgrades that BT is creating inside of the unlimited market will help this drastically, guys. We have a lot of tokens locked up, and I do think it's a matter of time before the price of Trunk goes up and to the right. And that's all I've got for you today, guys. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more content just like this. We'll see you again on Friday, guys. Have a great week. God bless.